My name is Abina Johnson, and this is Focus on Liberia. Hit it! From Cape Mount to Cape Palmer, Mount Nimba to Atlantic Ocean, Obomi Hills to Boakai, to educate, elevate, and promote. Talk about home affairs, in diaspora, current affairs, reliable information, history, talking about culture, politics, education, entertainment, business, sports, advertisement, articulation. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. Focus on Liberia. From Monday to Sunday.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Focus on Liberia. This is the edition of Friday Night Debate. Tonight, we tackle some of the most consequential governance issues shaping the national conversations. Issues that cut across elections, money supply, cabinet discipline, policy coordination, and legislative accountability. From the controversy over appointing allies to the National Election Commission, to the debate around printing new Liberian banknotes, to President Boakai's repeated admonishment of cabinet members, to the National Tourism Authority fee schedule reversal, and finally, the expulsion of Representative Yekeh Kolubah from the House of Representatives. These are not isolated stories. They speak to a deeper question: is Liberia strengthening its democratic institutions, or are we drifting into familiar patterns of uncertainty? Tonight, our analysts and debaters will break it all down with clarity, courage, and context. Let me welcome Dr. Octavius Jones Malley Sr. to the debate. Welcome, Dr. Jones Malley.
Oh, thank you. Oh, is this the lost and found? Is it the Honorable Thomas B. Carter? It's been a long time, since I don't know how many years. Anyway, welcome.
Thank you. Let me also welcome FOL resident economist Thomas B. Carter. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Dennis. When the central bank is trying to print money, then I have to come.
I know.
We want to welcome all our viewers from across the globe. If you have not done so already, please hit that share button or invite someone, and let's get things started here. Thompson, so Dr. Malley said now, so let me ask you, how you been? It's a long time no see.
I know.
I mean, okay, it is the change in time that caused the problem. If you're back in Liberia, I think it's like how many hours, but Ethiopia and the US, the time difference is just very long.
Yes, huge.
Yeah, so now that it's 7 o'clock EST on your side, it's like 2 o'clock AM here. So it becomes very difficult to be able to catch the show. So I was actually in a meeting until 12 p.m. So when I saw your text, I said, but then I can just wait for the next 2 hours to join the show tonight.
All right, so let's do it. Let's start with the National Election Commission. The appointment. We begin with the president has the constitutional right to appoint the authority he has the authority to appoint commissioner, but the public is sharply divided on whether appointing a close ally in Mr. Wider to head the NEC undermines trust in the electoral process. Can the president appoint ally to head the National Election Commission? Let me start with Dr. Mali. How do you look at it?
Well, I look at it in twofold. One, constitutionally, he has not violated any constitutional provision.
That's true.
Okay. Morally, I think he has his own conscience that we have decided to run a democratic system. And I think he's also aware that in post-war Liberia now we have got what I call high-functional Liberians. Liberians are very high-functional right now. They try to really read between lines and try to analyze for themselves. So when we use the word long-term ally, it rings bells. Yes. This is where I'm a little bit taken aback when the phrase long-time ally, what does it really mean? Are they buddy? Or they come from the same county? Or they work together? Or are they political colleagues?
Right, Miller in the Unity Party, because he was campaigning for the Unity Party. In fact, he was announcing, we want this country, we want this country. So in that way, yeah.
Okay, so let's take it from that angle. Well, we find ourselves in a society where we find problem or a whole lot of stuff. But I think if the issue is based on competence, if the man is qualified to do this job, I think that should overshadow whether they were once buddy or they came from the same county. You see, so I would be more on the professional aspect rather than the friendship aspect, which of course it becomes quite difficult to define. Then the next thing now is, if the issue is being part of a political party, there's a clear-cut policy that states if you're part of a political party, you cannot be an election commissioner or head of an election. Then we'll have to look at those policies. Now, let's just play the devil advocate to say, yes, the policies are there. If the policies are there, then Honorable Jonathan Widow is not qualified. But if the policies are not there, because you were once part of the Unity Party, and looking at the nature of the entity he's trying to head, that demands credibility, that demands sincerity, that demands fair play, that demands balance in your approach, then it will raise eyebrows that, oh, anybody in a sector that can say, wow, this man was part of the Unity Party, he's chairman now, there is the likelihood that he might cheat 2029 for and on behalf of the Unity Party. But again, there'll be another school of thought to say, okay, he's qualified. Yeah, they were buddy.
So I want you to tell me, Dr. Malik, I want you to tell me your position. This is a debate. Take a side. Can he do it? Say, okay. Take a side.
If he qualified, yes, he can do it.
What does qualification mean?
Qualification means if he has a qualification to be, he once served as an election commissioner for a very long time. So he has the experience, all right? He has the experience to serve as a chairperson. So based on that, I think he can head the election commission. I'm not looking at the side attraction now, like friendship, you are in the party. Right. I'm really not looking at all of those right now.
So the being an ally, can he act impartially? Can he be trusted by the people to administer to be the judge over election. If he's an ally, how will he be perceived?
Yes, this is an institution that is embedded with other personalities. He's just the chairman.
Thank you.
All right. Of late, our election commission, during the last election, so many observers came to the point where there was high level of transparency because too many people were sitting on this election. So if it goes that direction, I don't know how the chairman is going to cheat.
Thank you.
He would say he was ally. I don't know.
Thank you.
I don't think so.
Let me come to you, Tom. Can an ally of the president head the election commission? And again, let's clarify that the president has the authority to appoint whoever he wants. Because that office is about perception. If you're going to be the judge for all of us, can you be perceived by us as being a friend of the president or a member of his political party?
Thank you, Dennis. So let me start by addressing this question by stating that I started my career in international development working on elections. So I was in the AME University, I think transitioning from junior to senior year when I got recruited by the International Foundation for Electoral Systems. That was back in 2010. And I worked with IFES. We supported the Elections Commission to conduct the 2011 elections. It was after the elections that I transitioned because after the Election Commission can be very inactive. Not much work can be there to be done. So that's how I left. I'm saying this to say that the person we are discussing here is somebody that I know, Mr. Widow. He served on the board of the NEC before. We were there when he left. I think he went to the US and did his master's, I think, in sustainable development and return around that time. And he served there when Flomoya was the chairman. So he was the commissioner. I think he was responsible for audit, for finance, and all of those things. So these are people that I'm familiar with. I'm familiar with a couple of people in the Elections Commission. So that's why I bring a perspective of knowing what the Election Commission does. After the civil war in Liberia, the development agencies focused a lot on governance because the thought was that until you strengthen the governance in the country, which was one of the reasons why we went to civil war, there was a likelihood that the war would come back. So you saw a lot of support going to the Elections Commission. Even the Elections Commission headquarters today that is on 9th Street, it was hugely funded by, I think, USAID and other donor partners. At that time, the Election Commission used to be in an office in that same Cinco, but they were renting. So they built that office for them. All of that investment went into making sure that the Election Commission can be strengthened, that it can be seen as an impartial body. Because now we had a history way back, we had the most fraudulent election, I think 1927, right? Where the people who voted in the election were more than the population of the country. So after the Civil War, a lot of effort went into making sure that the Election Commission can be strengthened, a lot of training and all of that. That's one side to it. To your question of impartiality, we have to make sure that the Election Commission is impartial, not only in practice, but even in perception. People must see that body to be above the fray. Because when we lose trust in the electoral body, that means whatever result that they come up with during contentious elections, it will lead to conflict because people will disagree, and then it will get us into chaos. So that's why even those appointments, they are done in such a way that those who go there, they are beyond reproach. But I will also tell you that the Election Commission cannot be extracted from our political processes because we are all part of the political system that is in the country. And if you go back to the history of the election of commissioners at the Elections Commission, after the Civil War, I think the initial law that we had said that the commissioners, I think they could be 5. Later on, they increased them to 7. Even the Liberty Party took the former, when President Selig was president, they took them to court that the number of election commissioners cannot be, I think, 7 or 5, and then that argument went through. At a certain point in time, even the composition of the board that we had, I think around 2010 to 2014, it was like a collaboration. They even gave slot to political parties. So the outgoing chair actually came through the nomination of the Congress for Democratic Change. Some people came through the nomination of the religious, how they call it, the interfaith council, where you have the churches and the mosques and all of that. And then some members came through civil society. If I'm not mistaken, when Mr. Widows, Jonathan Widows served first on the board of commissioners of the NEC, I think he was recommended by civil society. That's how he got onto that board. So I'm only saying that even though we say that these people must not be affiliated with political parties and all of that, but in the end, the election commission itself, the institution itself, is structured based on political considerations and all of that. And that's why I come to the point where we need to be very careful with words. I don't think it's right to say that Widow is a political ally of the president. Because when their tenure ended at the National Elections Commission Board of Commissioners, they left. And then when they left, what they did was they established an institution. I think they call it Election Management Board or some consultancy or something like that. And so in the 2023 election, they wrote to political parties and said, we are former commissioners of the Election Commission. We know how elections are managed. If you want to hire our services, we can help you to do training of pool washers, to do training of your party members and all of that will be observing the election. And then you pay us. So the Unity Party was the only party that hired their services. So this video that is online now, where you listen to Mr. Jonathan Widow saying the Unity Party won this number of votes in Yofa, in Kolahu, in Foya, and all of that. He was playing that role as a consultant that was delivering a service to a political party.
He was saying we. He was saying we.
No, he said we because the institution was led by Flomoya, and he was also part of the team that has been hired. So to use that video now to say, okay, he's a member of the Unity Party, he's not a member of the Unity Party. Even before he had gone to the Election Commission on the Board of Commissioners, the party that he affiliated with was LANU. Mm-hmm. He was a member of LANU before he went first. And the practice is normally when they get appointed at the Election Commission now, then they have to
denounce.
Denounce the relationship with the party. Just to conclude, even Councillor Reeves, that is currently the co-chair at the Elections Commission, had contested on the CDC party ticket in Rivers West. Then the former chairman of the Elections Commission, what's his name? Kokoya had just contested on the Unity Party ticket in Bon County as a representative candidate. He lost, and then Madam Seli appointed him. So I think, to conclude, we cannot say that video, when he was working as a consultant, puts him in a category where he becomes a member of the Unity Party. That is not true. He was serving in a capacity as a consultant. And I think this is something that we need to do a lot in Liberia. When people leave government, let them go establish a place where they can deliver services, rather than always waiting to come back to government.
So if the question, let's say, if we even take Widow out of the equation, if the president appoint his ally to be head of the Election Commission, that will present a picture of mistrust, because that's how it will be perceived.
Definitely.
So to the question that I asked, is it okay for the president to appoint an ally to head the Election Commission? Your answer is no.
No. So let's say, for instance, the president appoint the UP party chairman.
Right.
That would be a no-go area.
Like Dr. Mali, you talk of competence. So can the president appoint what is his party member, like his party chairman or the party secretary to or any of the operatives to the election commission as long as they are qualified?
Well, that would be a controversy. That is going to generate a huge controversy because this is a party hierarchy.
Mm-hmm.
He's 100% committed to the political philosophy of the party.
But when you take that job, you have to withdraw from the party.
That's what I'm saying. Withdrawing from the party is still a very bad impression and a very bad perception out there. All right? Because you once serve as a loyalist. And at this junction, you're breaking away now to serve one of the most sensitive institutions. If there are other places, fine. But this is an institution that decide on the leadership of the country. So people are concerned. You see, and they have all right to express what they have to express. But like what Mr. Kana just said, all right? I think that guy had his distance. I mean, he's been very far from this party as compared to having a slot in the party and upholding the flag of loyalty and preaching the gospel of this party. That's two different things. All right? So seeing Widow and seeing the distance he come from, the issue of, okay, let's assume they all come from Lofa County. That's a weak argument. He won't work for the unit. Yeah, he won't work for the Unity Party. That's a weak argument. All right. The video Mr. Connor just talked about. That's a very weak party. Assuming the case go to court. Just another strong points to really say the guy should not be employed, especially when half of the portion of the argument is in the president's favor. The Constitution back him. Right? But here where I'm really coming from. The chairman, he just one person in that building, general supervisor. Election in Africa nowadays, it being raging by countless observers.
Mr. Male, cheating on election is not done on election day. But I want us to conclude with this question so we can move to the next. We have many issues. If the NEC chair is perceived as partisan, because there is I wrote on my that we have a Lofa problem. President Boakai is appointing a lot of people from Lofa. We do I understand he's from neighboring Bapulu. But even if the president has come from Lofa, that person will be perceived as being for President Boakai. So if the NEC chair is perceived as a partisan or an ally of the president, can any election outcome truly be trusted, even if the process is clean? Dr. Mali, that's a yes or no?
Yes.
Why?
Good. Because we have international observers nowadays that participating in our electoral processes all over Africa. And even if the country come to announce that the election is okay, people are still waiting to hear from the observers, especially those who from Uncle Sam town. They're waiting to hear from them before the whole case can come to arrest.
Thank
so
you.
The answer is yes.
Thank you. Mr. Kane, if the NEC chair is perceived as partisan, can any election outcome truly be trusted, even if the process is clean?
There will be doubts. This is why I say that people who get appointed to the election commission, they should be above that floor. Even when they are in political party, they are members of political party, they should not be seen as these staunch loyalists and all of that. They should not be too ingrained in party ideologies, because like I said initially, we are all members of political affiliations in Liberia. You could not be a member of a political party, but you are a sympathizer of a political party. So you try to avoid that. Like I said, perception is very, very key in elections. You want to make sure that even when the process is free, fair, and transparent, people should perceive it as being free, fair, and transparent. So I don't think we should be getting people who are highly ingrained in party politics to go to the Elections Commission. But my distinction to that point is that I don't think Jonathan Widow fits that category, because he has spent the last 10, 15 years at the Elections Commission anyway. when he could not be active in party politics. He left when the CDC government came, and he has been doing his private business until they call him back to come.
Thank you. Let's take us to the central bank. The reason Tom says he's here. The central bank says new money is needed to replace mutilated notes and stabilize liquidity. Critics say the timing, the transparency, and the logistics raise red flags. Tom, I will start with you with two questions. Is printing new money a necessary economic intervention, or does it risk repeating past controversies and destabilizing the financial system? Two to that, what problem is the central bank trying to solve? And is this the right tool? I'm asking you real economic question now.
Yeah, but you ask all the questions now, then okay, ask the first one. Let's go one by one.
Yeah. Is printing the new money a necessary economic intervention, or does it risk repeating past controversy and destabilizing the financial system? We saw printing money with two, and they say, yeah, beg or back. So that's why I want us to start from.
Yeah, so printing money is always part of managing economies. It's only in our part of the world, because we're still a developing country, where every time we say we are printing money, it becomes a huge thing. Everybody's attention is on it. But other countries do it almost all the time. For instance, the country you are in the US, they have printing places not only in the US, in other countries. They have places in South Africa, in Europe, and other places, because their currency, let's just say, is a global currency. So they print it not only for their economy, but they print it for the whole world. So you don't get out in the morning and say, oh, they're going to print money tomorrow, and everybody is talking about it. Other countries, Ghana, other places, they do it. So it's a viable monetary policy tool that you can use. I have listened to the central bank. I think they had a press conference this week, and they provided some of the reasons why they are printing the money. The first thing they said is that the economy is growing, and therefore the demand for money is also growing. Last year, we grew by 5.1% in terms of growth of the economy. This year, the projection is 5.6. That was before the crisis in the Middle East. We don't know whether it will be downgraded because of that crisis. So when the economy expands like that, it comes with demand for money. Because what is GDP? What is that growth? It is the value of goods and services that we produce in the economy in a year. So when that value of the goods and services that we are producing increases, there is going to be increased demand for money. So that's why the central bank is saying that we need to print additional money, because the economy is growing. The other justification they gave is that there is some mutilation of the money that was printed. And the current batch of notes that we have were printed around 2021, 2022. And the way that printing even happened was that it wasn't going to be done at once. I think we printed around 48 billion. It wasn't going to be done at once. It was going to be done over a period of time. So you will say that that money was printed from 2021, 2022, maybe even into 2023. Right? So the question is, I'm not in the country. I was there in December. I came back, but do we really have enough mutilated money? That was the case with the previous currency that we had, the previous family of currency that we had to change altogether. We had a lot of mutilated money. But if in just 2 years or 3 years we have a mutilated banknotes based on the family of currency that we printed, then there is an issue with the quality. I know I was there, we supported the printing. We hired a crew to come and do the research and to help them with the procurement process. But if mutilation is the justification for printing money after 2 to 3 years, then we have to ask ourselves, what is the quality of the money that we printed? The central bank justification to this is that the economy is cash-based. The penetration of digital or money is very low. Everything that you do outside Monrovia, people want you to give them cash. So that means that you have to exchange the cash. You look at people who are doing village saving and loan association. They take all the money, they tie it with rubber band, they pull it under their bed, they pull it under the mattress. By the time that money is coming up, it starts getting mutilated. So the central bank is saying that even though we want to print because of the increased demand for the volume of money, we also want to print because people are overly using the cash. But that also comes back to the point of us now moving fast enough to digitize the financial system. The central bank is currently working on a system that will allow people to be able to transfer money from bank accounts to mobile money and then vice versa. So if we finish that process, then the digital use of money will increase. But if we have not finished it on the central bank side, then we cannot use that as a justification to say people are using cash. So there's economic logic into it. There's a reason why we should do it. But again, it goes back to the second part of the question that you asked. Is there a risk? Does it remind people of other things that have happened in the past where you say currency was printed and then it did not enter the central bank vault, it got missing and all of that? So it is because of the historical failures of the past that every time we say we are printing currency in Liberia, it raises an alarm. Everybody is having distrusting the system. That's because of the way we have managed these processes in the past. The point at which I will conclude this is that, and maybe you can ask a follow-up question, is that in the country, for instance, we don't have any economic reform strategy that brings the fiscal reforms that we are doing on the Ministry of Finance on the tax side and the monetary policy reforms that are taking place. If you go to the AAID, you will see snippets of these things, but they've not been consolidated into a strategy. If we had a strategic document that show us that these are the monetary policy reforms that we are going to do in the next 3 to 4 to 5 years, the issue of printing of money could have been there. But no, you just wake up in the morning and then they say the central bank wants to print money. They're calling the lawmakers to come back and tell them how much they can print. They will bring all of these suspicions because we are not doing these things strategically. The central bank cannot just wake up in the morning and say we are running out of currency because you are managing a vault. You know the currency volume in circulation and all of that. How come this is not being flagged until we wake up in the morning and then we say we are going to do it? So I think these are the places where the concerns are being raised because of the historical nature of it, because of the lack of foresight and planning and documenting what we want to do. And now they're having press conferences to be able to justify. So I think these are the places where all of these concerns are being raised. But yes, monetary policy, the volume of money, that's the real function of the central bank. How do they control the volume of the money?
And Tom, before I go to Dr. Mali, is the timing, because the president is also calling the legislature back because it looks like the $1.2 billion budget, it looks like we're going into shortfall. So if money is getting dry and then you're printing money because it's not they're trying to say, hey, let's do something with the budget, and at the same time, let's print money. You didn't hear that?
No. So there are two different things that are happening here. The president is calling them back to be able to pass the supplemental budget.
Right.
The supplemental budget, by the nature of the name supplemental, is to supplement the budget that was passed. The $1.2 billion is in place, is being implemented. The supplemental budget is actually additional money.
Right.
No, yes. Akamina, the supplemental budget is when you get additional resources after you've already passed the budget. So for instance, in last year's budget, there were some triggers that were put for the government to be able to achieve, and then we will get money from the World Bank in terms of grant support. I think it was around 40 million. The government did not achieve those things in 2025. So part of 2026, the government has met those things. That money is going to come. But because you already passed the $1.2 billion budget and it is not in there, those ones will come as supplemental funds. So you have to put it in a supplemental budget. It's almost like you make a budget of $10. Then somebody gave you $5. Then you say, okay, now the $5 will go into a supplemental budget to supplement the $10. So it's not because the $1.2 billion is not performing. It's because these additional resources have come in. There were some balance brought forward from 2025. And the way it works is that when the fiscal year ends, the Ministry of Finance got 3 months to close their books. So from when the fiscal year ended on December 25, 2025, they had up to the end of March to be able to close the book. And the revenue that we collected last year was more than what we have budgeted for. So there are some revenue streams that came after the budget has been consummated. That's why it's going now into the supplemental budget. I just want to clarify that it is not because there's a shortfall in the $1.2 billion budget. This is additional money. The government is, so they will be implementing two budgets essentially. You have the $1.2 million budget, then you have the supplemental budget.
Thank you. Dr. Mali, does the public trust the process after previous currency scandals? And is this about economics or is it about politics?
Well, I think I would want to strongly believe that it's about politics. And that is for three reasons. One, the timing. Why at this time? Especially so when we can still recall in living memories when 16 billion, that was equivalent to 25 US million dollars, just disappeared in thin air. You know,
the Crow report said it was not true.
We saw the report, and the report tried to justify that indeed this money was printed, someone was not authorized, but it went that way. So it's still in our living memory up to today. But here is my point, like what Mr. Khanna was just saying. I'm a little bit concerned about our financial discipline. Are we financially disciplined as a post-war society? That's the first thing. And my second question now is, we still languishing within this dual currency economy in Liberia. You know, so I'm more concerned about the downside, because I want to believe strongly that the more you print money, it also helps to devalue the currency as well. What is the status of our reserve? So these are the questions that be lingering my thoughts when it came to the money business. Because what I see now is, where is the urgency? Do we really need it now? Can we do it later? We have a little crisis at hand right now, the border crisis, that can even endanger the lives of every single Liberian in our country. So the question now is, what have resulted to the very, very quick urgency that if it doesn't happen, then this will happen? This is my question to our financial expert, probably to take me through some of these things. But I've been very baffled in those areas of late.
And if it's not this time, you say the time. If not this time, when? When do you think will be the right time? If it is not
this time, when? Then the question now is, why this time? Is it really urgent?
Why not this time will be the question to you.
Because I told you I took the political side.
Okay.
I went with the political angle. And from the political angle, I don't think it's necessary right now. Because if the argument is that we have these mutilated banknotes all in the system, and therefore they need to be replaced, it was the same case that was made for, it was one of the cases that were made for the first $16 billion. They wanted to replace notes and other things. And it went the other way around. Whether they were replaced, nobody knows. So the question now is, what is there right now? Do we know what is there right now? I don't know. Maybe you may know, or Mr. Khanna will know.
So if I can just say, so the printing of currency this time, the reason for it is slightly different from the printing that we did around 2021 to 2022. What was happening in Liberia was that, you know, when Charles Taylor was president, we had, you remember the JJ and the Liberty, right?
Yeah.
I think initially we were using JJ, and then we transitioned from JJ to Liberty. Right. And then when Madam Sali became president, we printed another family of banknotes. So essentially what was happening to the central bank was that the central bank was never able to account for the full volume of money that it had in the economy. Because we had different currencies, JJ, Liberty, Madam Sali, Uno currency, and all of that. So it was a messy situation. And like I said, one of the primary functions of a central bank is to control money supply. How much money do we push into the economy? How much money do we withdraw from the economy? Because you use it to be able to manage the economy. So the justification for printing this current bank family of banknote was that we wanted to change the whole series or the whole family of banknotes. That Liberty, JJ, the one Manaseli printed, everything, we wanted to change it. That's why we printed 48 billion. So all that old money was gotten out of the market. If you go to Liberia now, you can see that $20, that short one that Manaseli printed, you won't see it. So that was the justification for the printing of this money, because we wanted to put the central bank in a position where it could know exactly what is the volume of currency that we have. And if it needed more, it could do it. If it needed to withdraw more, some from the market, it could do it. This time, like I said, the central bank is saying that the economy is growing, so we need more. But the point that Dr. Mali raised is the valid concern that everybody is raising, that if you print money, it could lead to inflation and all of that. That is a concern that is a valid concern, but from the economic point, it is not the printing of money that automatically leads to inflation. It is when you print it and you just pull it loosely onto the market. Because when you increase the volume of money, you have so much money in the economy and chasing goods, then inflation, the prices will go up. But that will not be what the central bank intends to do. It could print the money, keep it in the vault, and release it based on the need. As the economy is growing, then they are releasing it. So I just want to clarify this, that there is not a linear relationship between printing of money and increasing inflation. That will not necessarily happen.
Right. And your money too, you should back it by producing. You can
Definitely.
get
And that's why when they say the economy is growing, we have to do a lot, because you see all of these constructions that are taking place, they are building roads and all of that, investing in agriculture, trying to do irrigation and all of that. You have to have a productive economy to be able to back what you are doing on the monetary side. But because if the economy does not grow, which is the justification you are providing, and you increase the volume of money, then the inflation you're calling for. Because there are no economic activities to absorb that volume that you are printing.
Mr. John, just one last.
Yeah, we're going to our next issue. Go ahead.
Yeah, just one last concern. Mr. Conan, do you think this printing of money may have any direct relationship with this black marketing and money laundering? And according to some sources, the Nigerian often found the source where they're printing this money and try to do their own stuff, get it, in multiple currencies. Do you see that relationship?
No.
I don't. There are these concerns, but to be frank with you, when I was part of the team that was supporting the central bank to do the printing of this family of banknotes, there's a lot of security around printing of money. From the place where it is printed onto the shores of the country that does the printing, there's a lot of security around it. So, except a hardcore criminal enterprise, but it's very difficult for you to be able to do it. Also, when you do that and those currencies get into the country, you should have a system in place to be able to flag them out, that these are counterfeit banknotes. They were not part of the ones that were printed, because all of the money that countries print has specific security features that go into it. Even when they were doing the last time they were doing the printing, we never had a 1,000 banknote. So there's a lot of consultation that went into what do we even place on, all of these banknotes have either a former president picture, or at the back of it, they have this cultural, either a mountain or some traditional marks or all of that. So these are consultative processes that go through, and they are all backed up by these security features that are put in there. One of the issues I didn't respond to was the issue of the urgency. Myself have a concern about why should the legislature be called back to pass on the printing of money, because anyways, they are coming back in like 2 to 3 weeks. So I don't really see that urgency that they have to do it in the next 10 to 15 days. They will have come and made a decision on this. I could see it for the supplemental budget. Then the question is, why did they even wait for the legislature to go on leave before they submitted the supplemental budget? So I don't see the urgency that it has to be done in 2 weeks. We could print the money 3 months down the line. You know, the way they can say, like, bro, we're not born.
And one last thing before is, hey, the money is coming. I saw a post. They say, who should be on the currency? Before then, there is a $1,000 banknote, that had travel mask. And the people of Sapo, Sino County, they sued. They say, hey, the Sapo people represent the 17th tribe of Liberia, but we are 16. The case went up to the Supreme Court. Now there are people calling for, I think I saw a post from T.K. Harris saying George Weah picture should be on the currency. So that's it. And then I saw a response from my brother. He said, what is the use of the if the currency is worthless anyway? So why do we worry about who picture on? So and like here before the crisis we have in the United States now, there used to be rules regarding how you or how people faces on the currency. Like the president should not be somebody who's alive and all those kind of things. Do we have those kind of rules in Liberia, or is because the whole idea of traditional masks? I was talking to one historian and say those masks are somebody's idea because there is nothing like this ethnic group has a traditional mask that does not exist. So it's just somebody being just creative, and now we have put that on money as if it is something that has been researched and really put into place. So let's talk about who image should be on this new currency, Tom.
These things, central banks are managed by global regulations, and then even some of the things that are not regulated, they follow practice. So even in Liberia, the practice is that you can put the picture of the sitting president. It has to be a former president because it will be like you are wielding power onto yourself to say, and the currency belongs to the country. It doesn't belong to the president. It doesn't belong to anyone else. So that's why you see normally they don't put a sitting president. Even the former presidents is based on the contribution that you made to the state that your picture can go onto the currency. It's not only because you serve, right? And particularly when you say you're coming back. So when we put your picture there and then you come back again, then we'll take it from there. Then, so there's all of these considerations. And I can tell you those the marks that you see on the current, I think $1,000 note, it was a lot of consultation. There were different features that were submitted for consideration. One of it was the mountain range in Nimba. But the question would be, when you put the mountain range in Nimba, are the Nimba people going to say the banknote is for us because the mountain range is in Nimba? So in the end, the decision was to put something not to represent a specific location or a specific group of people, but to put something that the whole country can associate with. So that's why they put the 16 the pictures of the marks, because it's like every tribe will see themselves into it. But again, like you see, the Sapo people went to court, but they are now officially recognized as the 17th tribe. I don't know how that case went.
No, they are recognized. They took the history book that said there are 17 tribes.
Yeah.
And then there are some ruling that say, hey, the Sapo people in Sando and Grand Gila, so they cease to be. I mean, some foolishness. So they're not a tribe. But anyway, that's. But let's go to the next. We have our next issue here. Dr. Mali.
Yeah.
Let me ask you too. What do you think should be on the currency?
Well, politically, I think politically, this is how people tend to be dictator in disguise. You see the leaders putting their names on entity all over the place, even including building. In my own view, I don't think those things should be encouraged at all. Maybe we can take some of the symbol of Liberia and get some of these things on the money, because the view here is that you taking the president into your living room, you taking the president into your bank account, you see him every day because his name is printed on the money. But frankly speaking, I think we should go away from this kind of thing.
Well, who should be there now? Tell me, give me something.
I mean, we can put our shield there. We can put one of our. I should tell you something. We can put some of our historic rivers there. We can put some of the iconic things from our tourism site there. I mean, let's just forget about putting any president head on that note.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, That's why I would really want to
What's about
advise.
Swakoko or
Eh?
Labo Lente? Swakoko.
That's what I'm saying, an entity rather than a person.
Thank you.
Mhm.
Let's go to our next issue here. We have a couple of issues to run through here. President Boakai annual cabinet meetings, right? Is the third year. Every time they go to the cabinet meeting here, let the president always admonish him. Oh, don't. So President Boakai has repeatedly admonished cabinet members for underperformance. Some say it shows accountability, others say it signals weak internal discipline. I mean, it's like every day now you will say, don't do it again, don't do it again, no firing, no reshuffle. This is the third year. So should we see a little more action than the constant, admonition? Dr. Mali, let me start with you.
Well, politically, I think this is a normal political rituals that work hand in hand with almost all government. At some point in time, you have to gather your lieutenants together and
No,
try
I'm
to
not talking
take
about the cabinet meeting. You go there, if they are not doing what they're supposed to do, fire them, replace them. Why every day we hearing the same song?
What?
The country here, if you don't want a job, you must sit down. Why can't you change them?
Well, I don't know whether we have the facts that what they're supposed to do, they're not doing it.
No, because the same warnings coming every year. Every time they go to cabinet meeting,
Yeah,
you're giving them the same warnings.
Yeah, but that's the normal approach, Ja.
No, it's not.
It's the normal approach. Even the platform you're running, if you have a staff and you get maybe according to your policy quarterly, you got to meet them and what have you, you have to meet them. You have to
If I
encourage
meet
them.
them, I won't be giving the same. You'll come on time. Every year, you'll come on time. So
Mhm.
the third year now, I say, oh, fire the people who are not coming on time. That's what
Well,
I'm saying.
I don't know if firing is the answer to a success story. I don't know. But I think constant training and reminder can help to sometimes close the gap.
For how long?
Except it becomes systemic. But
That's what I'm saying. You
I don't
got
think
6
we have
years. This is
passed.
the third year.
Yeah. It will continue. It will continue until the 6th year, until even the 12th year. Except there's something very egregious. Yes, but until then, it's a normal routine.
Thank
It will
you.
continue just that way. You see, admonishing, advising, counseling, sharing thought, experiences, and sometimes these things take place even at retreats. Except where now, if the president is pragmatic and he has set a goal for a particular lieutenant, and after certain quarter, you're not meeting that goal, you can take action. But firing may not be the solution in my mind. Maybe additional training, maybe there are some weaknesses somewhere that you can straighten up. It's not like we're spoon feeding, but it's just a normal administrative routine in government.
Before I go to Tom, right?
Uh-huh.
So, like you said, you set your performance criteria.
Yeah.
The people are not meeting it. So every year you say you're not meeting it. It's the same warning you say every year. So if you're saying that for 4 years, what does that tell us?
No, I think we try to politicize it.
No, I'm
I don't
just
know
saying.
whether they're not meeting it. I don't know that.
But
So
the
that's
constant warning, the way it's telling us.
yes, but it's administration. It has to happen.
Dr. Malik, let me put it this way. You're
Okay,
supposed
put
to
it the
come to
other way
work on
around.
time. Hold on.
Yes.
You're supposed to come to work on time, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
You didn't do it this week. I told you. We have meeting next week. You still coming late. I tell you again. I warn you. So the whole year is the same thing. What does that say about you, the manager?
Okay. Assuming I'm the boss,
Yeah.
I see that things are very repetitive. Let's say 3 years. Okay. Then the first thing that I have to do what I call performance evaluation. Is the guy in the right place? Or is he in the wrong place? Yeah, he got a doctorate degree. Is he ready fit to be in the spot?
Does the repeated warning tell us that he's doing performance evaluation?
No, the repeated warning will cause me now to involve performance evaluation.
Why you were not doing it before?
No. From the time I brought you in, I've been evaluating you. Why, if the evaluation score shows that you are doing well, or at some point there's some gap, I have to come in and close the gap. Why if you need team training?
Thank you.
Why if you need to be sent outside for additional training? Or there are some lapses somewhere. I mean, I will have to keep training you for the next 6 years as long as you want to be there. Except for something very, very systemic that is undermining the unity of the cabinet, I will have to take a stand.
Thank you. Thank you. Tom, let me come to you. Why do these repeated admonishments reflect strong leadership, or do they expose deeper coordination and performance problems within the administration?
I think this is where we disagree with Dr. Mali. So there are two kind of key messages we see coming out of the cabinet retreat. One of the consistent message is do your job, don't listen too much to the criticism, because you know there's this political atmosphere in the country. Even when you do good thing, people will just twist it to show that you are not doing anything. And the president is always reminding his ministers, focus on the job that you have to do. Don't pay attention to criticism and what people are putting out there. Even if they say we're not doing anything, we should go ahead and do what we are doing. And then also he will say, okay, this person, you are not doing well. Sometimes he says it generally. In the previous cabinet meeting before this, he was very clear, for instance, on the commerce ministry, that we now are there to just be talking about importing chicken feet. We have to make sure we are focusing on value addition. We are focusing on producing things ourselves. So it's like he practically put the commerce minister on the table. I think after that cabinet retreat, they even had to go back to go and have a separate meeting, the minister acting on deputies. So there's a mixture of things that are happening here. Like Dr. Mali said on the issue of performance management, all of these cabinet ministers are signing performance contracts with the president. This is a reform that UNDP had been working on to introduce in Liberia during the latter part of the Madam Salif regime. When she left, President Yekeh, they tried to introduce it. It did not work until the current president picked it up. That all of these ministers go and sign agreement, and very clearly they say this is what we are going to achieve. So there should be no question about whether a minister is performing or not, because the president is tracking, if there's a system in place, their performance contracts that they are signing. So if that evidence is there to repeatedly tell people to go back and do better, then there's a question about why do we have a system in place? The other issue is a reshuffle of a government does not necessarily mean that perhaps people are doing things that are criminal in nature, that they are doing things that are bad. It's just meant to be able to increase the urgency in government. You could take someone from Commerce Ministry and send them to another agency, so that when that is inbuilt in the system, it pushes people to be able to perform more, because they think that if they don't do it, there will be a consequence. But to say reshuffle will only happen or will only take someone out when they do the wrong thing or they are involved in corruption, and broadly there will be no reshuffle, then it also creates a system of people just complacent. That, okay, I'm here, I'm just going to be here, and this is the third year. Practically, this current administration has one more year to work, which is next year. By 2028, 2029, it's a no-go zone. It's elections. We'll all be focusing on election. And then we go back to whether Widow is actually non-political or he's political. It's going to be the argument going forward. So technical work that they have to do is this year and next year. So if people are not performing, you reshuffle them. But to just continuously warn them and warn them and warn them, I don't think it does a lot of good.
Me neither.
Yeah, but Mr. Cannon.
Dr. Mali.
Yeah.
Why do you think the same warning appear year after year?
Well, I don't know where you guys getting your source from. That
you don't watch the cabinet meeting?
I've been reading it. I've been reading the tablet. I've been reading the newspaper. I even saw a video. Okay, there are so many things that take place in cabinet retreat or cabinet meetings. So many things. So if we want to capitalize on the issue of the president just go admonish people, that is part of his job. He's the senior supervisor. That is segment of his responsibility. It will have to happen all the time. But let's come to the place of performance evaluation. Is it happening? That's the first thing. Who is even supervising the director, assistant directors? Is it the minister?
The president supervises.
Okay.
The box down with the president.
No. If the box start with president, the question now is, we are running a ministry, all right? Like what Mr. Cannon said, I have not seen that list of performance that someone's supposed to meet, whether quarterly or yearly. Are they meeting them? Because when you're talking about reshuffle, it's based on some of the outcome of the performance evaluation. You see? But again, as I said earlier,
Dr. Mali, are you implying the president is not doing performance evaluation of his cabinet?
Well, I don't know whether these things are happening in post-war in Liberia. I don't know whether they're really happening. Because even where I worked for 6 years, I never saw that happening. You see, I don't know whether our orientation is really in that direction. Where you
work in Liberia?
Yes.
That was before the war, Dr. Mali.
Then before the war,
yeah, you're talking about 30 years ago.
No. Mr. Jah, if our argument before the war, then the foundation should have been in place. Then we just come and improve on them and keep moving. It's
so
not war Liberia.
Let me provide a context here.
The question here now is, too many things are on book according to sources in Liberia. Implementation is a problem. All right? Because in the first place, we don't have a merit system. Okay?
Why you say these things?
I'm saying it because I don't see it. I'm saying it because I work in a system before. I never saw it up to today. I'm not saying it.
You work there 30 years ago.
So let me provide some context here. So you see, everyone that works in the public sector in Liberia, they got different classification. So there is a civil service that we have in Liberia. Those people are managed by the civil service agency. So the highest level in the civil service in Liberia stops to the director level. So they have civil service standing rules and regulations that govern them. That's why government come, government go, they are there. And there is a performance management system that after the Civil War, there was a specific USAID project called Public Sector Modernization Program that tried to introduce performance management in the civil service. And that performance management is now even linked to training, is linked to promotion and all of that. So some government agencies are practicing that. So your supervisor you set your work goal at the beginning of the year, and then at the end of the year, they will evaluate you. But that system of performance management does not apply to the presidential appointees because they are not part of the civil service. That's why when an administration leaves, they all go. All we are assistant ministers and deputy ministers and ministers, they are gone. So the only person who can evaluate the performance of those appointed by the president, from the assistant ministers to the ministers, to then the directors and people that he appoints on the SOEs, only the president can manage their or can supervise their performance. And that's why they sign these performance contracts with the president. So there's a performance management system in place. And that's why I'm saying the president should be able to know who is delivering and who is not delivering. That's one reason why the PDU, the president delivery unit, is in the Ministry of State to be able to follow on presidential initiatives. Are people implementing them and all of that? So that evidence should be there. But again, like I was saying, a reshuffle in government should not be that maybe people not performing, but you do it to be able to either to bring in fresh. See, for instance, what is happening at the Youth and Sport Ministry, right? With all of the limitations that Minister Corina Kra has, people say she's aggressive, she comes across as this, even when she went for a confirmation, they were racing. But see what she's doing. This is the very first time we see a minister of youth and sport going from one county to the other, talking to young people, hearing their concerns. Minister of Youth and Sport was like a Morovia thing. They only deal with LFA explain a football game. Then you hear about them. They like to, yeah, MVTC. They like to SKD is now working. Or see what she's doing. She's currently in Rebel G. I think today she was in Grange there because she's new, fresh. You brought her, and she's trying to demonstrate that she can do something. That's what reshuffle can do. But when you put people and they are just there, you can't change nothing. Is shifting. They see where George Weah did it. Then where is the energy? Then people don't have any incentive to work.
But Mr. Connor, then I gotta hold your feet to the fire right here.
Let's go.
Good. If our argument is that the presidential appointees have got some performance evaluation set up there, then I don't know, how do we reconcile this if the president keep admonishing?
And that's the question I'm asking you.
I'm coming. No.
And that's the question I'm asking.
No. The president keep admonishing, because if this performance evaluation trend are within that presidential cycle, I don't think the president will keep admonishing. I don't think it is there. If it is there, the president will not keep admonishing people. I don't think so.
It is.
But then why he keep admonishing them if it is there? Because there are criteria all laid out in there for which you must meet a goal.
Now you're getting the question I'm asking.
No. It go back to you guys. You say it's there. I say it's not there.
So Dr. Mallory,
I'm saying it is not there.
Okay, Dr. Mallory.
You are saying it is there. But then if it is there, why the control mechanism is not working?
Okay.
And people are brought to book and all the kind of thing. If it is there,
that's
the performance evaluation is about. We evaluate you after every quarter or every year.
Dr. Mallory?
Yeah.
Okay, let's assume it is there. If it is there, why do you think the president is admonishing every day? Let's just assume for a second that it's there.
Okay.
If it is there and the president is admonishing, what does that tell you?
No, I don't know. I don't have the facts.
No, just an assumption. I'm not talking about President Boakai.
No, but you guys are politicizing this thing that the president just go there to admonish. I don't think so.
I'm saying just let's assume for a second that you have the performance evaluation, everything is there.
Yeah.
And if you see the president still admonishing, what does that tell you?
A part of HR criteria, administration criteria, because in a performance evaluation form, there are goals set. You have to meet these goals.
I get that. You are preaching to the choir. So if it is there, let's assume it is there. If it is there and the president is still admonishing you, what does that tell you?
Because he's a leader, that part of his responsibility. He cannot keep admonishing you. Admonishing you does not mean that it's a weakness. It does not mean you are showing weakness. No. It simply means your supervisor will keep reminding you.
Dr. Male?
It's part of administration. There's no two way about that.
Dr. Male?
Yeah.
So let me bring another context to this. On October 30th, 2024, President Boakai launches performance management and compliance system to drive transparency, accountability, and good governance in Liberia. So there's a whole system. Even the director of cabinet, I think, Mr. Nathaniel Kwabo. Yes, he went to Sierra Leone to go and do some. They had an entire study tour on this performance management system and accountability that they launched, and it was under this system then that the performance contracts were introduced. That we have a whole system to be able to improve effectiveness, accountability, transparency, and good governance in the public sector in Liberia. To implement this system, all of you come and sign performance contracts with the president, and then the cabinet secretary at the Ministry of State is actually tracking. They've been training people on this system in the different institutions. When you go to the different government institutions, there are focal points. My point is that there's a system in place to be able to assess whether people are delivering. And if they are not delivering, if they fall short, then there should be consequences. The consequence cannot be we keep reminding them to say, perform well. This country has suffered. I mean, you know how our people are going through this, so you perform. This is the third year.
Yeah, but Mr. Cannon, then where is the evidence that they are falling short of their
That's
deliverables? Where?
no, no,
Where
no.
is it?
The persistent reminder to improve means there are
No, 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 no.
limitations.
It does not mean because there are persistent reminder and therefore we have fallen short of our deliverable. No. It's just
Okay,
part
the
of
issue.
regular, it's just part of regular administration, and your supervisor will always keep reminding you of stuff with relevant to your objective and your set goals.
Okay, go back to the previous cabinet meeting. The issue of the Minister of Commerce. Was that a normal thing? When the president put her on a book and said, we are not satisfied with the work that you are doing. We can't just be you focusing on chicken feet.
Very good.
People come and give us gift of chicken feet. You think that was just a normal way of encouraging people to do
with
their
that
job?
illustration now, my question to you now is, was that part and parcel of the commerce minister term of reference with relationship to her performance set goal for which she running the ministry?
Yes, it's part of her TOR. Because if it is not part of her TOR, the president will not raise the issue at all.
No, I don't know whether part of her TOR.
No.
But
The president's point was,
yes.
and this is a fundamental point with
I
the
agree with
Ministry of
you.
Commerce.
I saw that point.
Okay.
But I don't know whether that point is principle. I don't know whether it's detail oriented and crafted within her contract or TOR. I don't know that. You see, because as a leader, sometimes you go beyond the boundary of the TRR and address some things. Of course.
We got to move on.
But what I'm seeing here is that if the issue of the president always admonishing his cabinet ministers is a regular routine, a happy administration from time to time.
Okay, let's agree with you. It's a regular routine.
Yes.
But it should not be perpetual. Yeah. The other thing I can conclude on is that we have to appreciate this administration because the president is having repeated cabinet meetings.
Yes.
In 2026, this is their second.
I agree with you. Yes.
And the good thing I see is that their cabinet meetings are specifically focused on issues. The recent one they had was on infrastructure. And then they will bring the Minister of Public Works to say, come and tell us what you are doing. The one before this was focused on natural resources. So the Ministry of Mines and Energy, come and tell us what you are doing. So it's like they have thematic cabinet meetings. The other one they had to his farm to his house in the president's house in Bomi was focused on job creation. Even though they said we're going to develop a strategy for job creation at the entrepreneurship, we are not seeing the strategy. But we should commend them that they have these regular ones. And that's where the problem is coming from. Because anytime they meet, because they are regular, then he got to admonish them again, encourage them. And that's why
I don't know, even Mr. Mario, even in your own house, you're still not drawing water. Every day you're doing the same thing. Even how you don't draw water, nobody will tell you, but you will not eat.
Yeah, but to be very frank with you, Mr. Carter, you see sometimes someone needs to work in here with the leadership style too. You see?
Dr. Manu, we got to move on.
Okay.
We
Let's
gotta
move on. Yes.
The next issue we want to talk about here is the National Tourism Authority fee schedule and government pullback. Dr. Mali, I don't know whether you saw that even in the national, first of all, the tourism was part of Ministry of Information. That was Information, Cultural Affairs, and Tourism.
Yes.
It split that one off, and now we have the Liberian National Tourism Authority. They came up with a fee schedule, how much people to pay a license. I call that taxes. Thomas said, no, they're not taxes. Any money from government, we know that taxes. But when government say pay this, continually that tax. So they came up with a fee that even Kobo people, they got money to pay, right?
Mm-hmm.
Focus on LeBron, there a couple of reports on it that you are taxing productivity, creativity, even talk show hosts, comedians, and all these content creators. They're being taxed to pay license fee, and some of them. So I saw hotel, all these hotel big ones. Like, but were they not paying anything before? Is this new? For us, for most of us, what we saw new was, the content creators barber shop, if you have alumni association, anything that so long you bring money, can't give up money to. So there was a lot of, we criticize it. There were some people who they not only criticize, but they mark it. And now the president came back and pulled it back. Dr. Mali, again, I started with you from the last one, so let me start with Tom this time. Tom, I want to get your take on the fee schedule. Does the reversal of the fee schedule show a government that listens or a government that lacks internal coordination and control? So I said, but President Boakai, you didn't see that thing before they put it out? So my question is, first, let me get your take on the fee schedule and then the reversal. What does that reversal show? That the government listened to them because we cry, or the government lacked internal coordination and control? 2 in 1.
Yeah, very, very good question. So going back to the issue of taxes and fees, so the distinction between the two is that taxes are legal obligations that are spelled out in law, and we pay it to the state basically for the running of the state. So even though we pay taxes to the government, we expect the government to deliver services to us.
Right.
But for taxes, that direct link between that money that you pay in tax, it does not mean that that benefit of that particular dollar that you pay, it has to come back to you. Say, for instance, the money that goes from the U.S. taxes that they pay, and then it goes to a grant in Liberia. There are some U.S. citizens, they will never go to Liberia, but that their tax money, it gone way over there. The indirect benefit might be, okay, these are poor countries. When we support them, they will not come here. Our number of illegal immigrants will not increase. So that's a tax that you pay. It's a legal obligation you pay, whether you get benefit back or not. The difference with fees is that every time you pay a fee for a government service, you expect a direct benefit to come back to you. For instance, driver license. Anytime you pay for your driver license, the state must allow you to drive because you paid a fee for it. So that's where the difference is. So what the tourism authority is imposing is not really taxes, it's fees. It's like you pay this fee and then we allow you to participate in the sector. Because everyone that is paying their fee, that's why they're not asking hospitals to pay. They are asking people who are in the tourism sector. When tourists go to Liberia, they will sleep in hotel. When they go there, they will go to beaches. When they go there, maybe content creators will come and deliver services for them. So that's why they are asking these people to pay fees.
And they will go to Lapa Bido.
Lapa Bido, I don't think should be on that list because I mean there's also traditional people, social citizens in a country that are going to Lapa Bido. So that's where I feel the problem is. Also, before I come to your question, my problem with the National Tourism Authority is that you are a new institution. What you should be focusing on right now is a lot of strategic planning and a lot of assessment to be able to define the sector that you are going to regulate. Where is the strategic document that they have put on really situating the tourism sector in Liberia to be able to be viable, to attract people to go to Liberia? We have not seen any of that. The only thing they have done is they prepare a logo, they go on an office, and then they had a roadshow. They put people on the long trailers, and then they went to Raleigh and came back. I think they went to Kakata also. Then they come up with a fee structure. Where is the categorization of the different service providers? How many hotels in Liberia are 5-star? What guaranteed them to be 5-star? How many are 3-star? How many are 2-star? They've not done the heavy lifting of the work that they need to do. Then they go into a fee structure. They come up with a long list of fees. Barbing shop. Why if no tourist is cutting their hair in those barbing shops? How does it qualify to be taxed in that sector or to pay a fee in that sector? So I think they have a lot of work to do. And because the fee structure was signed both by the Ministry of Finance and then there was a collaboration because this is a fiscal issue, that money they're generating for the government. So we cannot put the blame entirely on them. It's also on the Ministry of Finance that co-signed the fee schedule with them. So specifically to your question on lack of internal coordination, I think there was coordination, but I don't know whether it was a whole of government coordination. And then on the issue of listening, Perhaps the president is listening because the coordination was now done very well. Or maybe the coordination was done, but yet the president feels that there's a lot of backlash on social media because since the fee structure came up, it has been a whole lot of criticism, especially those in the creative sector. That you've now even developed the sector, the issue of
Monetization.
monetization is there, and then there's another issue of protection of intellectual property, right?
Right.
Somebody produces a music today, and tomorrow everybody will copy it and then go and sell it by themselves. We've now we have the Liberia Intellectual Property Office. There's a separate institution. People are even saying that the tourism authority is overstepping their bounds because that's a space that the Liberia Intellectual Property should be covering. So my whole issue about this thing is that as a new institution, they're supposed to focus a little more on strategic planning, building the foundation in place. What are the tourism locations in Liberia? How do people get there? All of that. They need to do that. And now go on fee structure, which is low-hanging fruit. Because your government entity, if the president had not come in tomorrow morning or Monday morning, they will have gone and started collecting the money. And these businesses have no choice. They will pay. So that's a low-hanging fruit. And in the end, they start to justify their existence by that money they collect. Just like Labor Ministry. They collect more money for work permit, then they say we are working. While the real work that needs to be done is lying down, and they are focusing on just fee collection. Anybody can collect fees.
Thank you. Dr. Malley, the fee schedule put on by the LNTA has been reversed by the president. Do you think the president did see it before he went out? Was the president surprised by this? Because it's signed by the finance ministry, also co-signed, and the president is the supervisor of the finance minister. You think he didn't see it? He changed his mind now because of the backlash, or he was blindsided?
Well, I don't know whether I would be the best authority to do the analysis.
What do you think?
I think so because the National Tourism Authority, I'm very sure they report to somebody. I don't know whether they report to the president. That's the first thing. So assuming they're supposed to report to the president, then the question now is, some of the things they have unfolded, does it tie in with the arrest agenda? The answer is yes. Do we have to get in the leverage to come up with programs, projects, and activities? The question is yes. But back to Mr. Cannon's point.
No, my point first, the president reversed it. You think the
I
president?
I don't know who they report to. Who do they report to?
Mr. Dr. Malley, everything.
This is an authority. It got to report to somebody.
So they have a board. They have a board, and the chair of that board is the Minister of Information.
Okay.
So we assume but if I can just conclude,
yeah,
all of the regulatory entities in Liberia, as well as the state-owned enterprises, they are supervised directly by the president, because, like I said, they are kind of outside the broader civil service. So even though they report to the board on policy issues, but all of them make their report to the president.
Well, I don't know whether all of them make that report to the president.
What, you don't know? Even when they tell you, you say you don't know.
No. I mean, we're not talking from fact. We are analyzing, man. You see, government is a huge entity. It's a structural institution. So I don't know what all those people report to the president. I don't know. All right. But what I know is that some of them report to so many other different ministers.
Okay? The end of all the people that the president is Dr. Malley.
That's what I'm saying. It's not possible for such a huge mass population of employees directly appointed by the president, all of them just report to the president.
No, let's take the minister, for instance. You think all the ministers report to the president?
Well, some of them I think even report to the Minister of State for Presidential Affairs. Yes.
No. They are all appointed by the president. They all report to the president.
They're all appointed by the president. The president can delegate responsibility. The president can still tell the minister, look, supervise this man. The president can do it. It's part of his presidential power. All right. But if we are seeing here from what is on the paper, I don't know he has the authority to appoint. So all those deputy ministers and directors, deputy ministers, and ministers, they all report to the president. I don't think so.
So there are differences here, right?
Okay.
Within the ministry, just information. Within the ministries,
yeah,
the minister is the highest level person. So even though the deputy minister is appointed and the assistant minister is appointed, they are supervised by the minister, who is the most senior appointed official in the ministry. But the state-owned enterprises and the regulatory authorities are different from the line ministries. So they are managed more like businesses like the port, the LPRC, and then they report to the president. That is why for the state-owned enterprises, when they are even nominated, they don't go for confirmation. Only the LWSC, when they change their law, they say the MD will go for confirmation. That's why on a quarterly basis, you see LPRC and other state-owned enterprises, they go and submit their report to the president. That's the same kind of thin line that these regulatory entities have. They make their report to the president. But they have boards. They have boards for technical issues. So LPRC has a board. The port has a board. Tourism Authority has a board for policy issues, but they cannot make determinations and decisions at a higher level without the president's consent, because the president is supervising all of them.
So yeah. Question.
I differ with you.
But Dr. Mala, how do you differ on the structure of our government?
No, I'm entitled to my opinion. I'm
not
going to
an opinion. It's not an opinion.
So where are the facts?
No, it's not an opinion. Our government.
Okay, so where are the facts? That all the authority or commission and other things, they all report to the president. Where are they?
The facts are laid out in the act.
What?
Read the act. Read the act.
That act. It's not there.
So who appointed?
These people have got statutory responsibility. All right. It's not all of them that report to the president.
Okay, which one report and which one does not report?
I did not see it there. I know they have a board. The board supervises this authority and commissioner. That's what I know. But if we are staying here, because you are speaking with facts that they all report to the president.
But who appoints and fires these people? The president. We got to move on.
Okay, we got to move on. But I disagree with that.
Because yes. I don't want us to go down that level.
No. But the other point to make to Dr. Mali is that the Constitution provides that the president is the head of the executive branch of government and head of government. Mm-hmm. So everybody on the executive side of the government report to the president.
It's not even in the Constitution, that portion you're talking about. He's the head. Deliverables, reports, they're not in the constitutions. Okay? Those are segmental analysis in the various ministry and commission and authority. So the question of who report to who, is that spelled out in the Constitution? Appointing you with the line ministers. Yes, the line ministers are few. Okay, the president. I don't know how he can manage to meet with all of them. I don't know. But what I know is that the commission, authority, or other things, you are saying they report to the president. Right. I'm saying no.
So who do they report to?
So you think there will be an organ within the executive branch of the government that does not?
One of the ministers, like for instance, the National Tourism Authority, all right? The board chair is the Minister of Information.
But that's what I said.
Sure, I'm coming down, Mr. Connor. I still disagree with you. I'm very sure they discuss a whole lot of things with him. I'm very sure they discuss a whole lot of things with him, including planning projects and programs. I'm very sure they also report to him. He in turn report to the president. All right? But to say all the fragmented agencies and institutions all report to the president, that's not even in the Constitution. You see? And these people are established by statute. And it's in there. And the statute is only limited to their supervisory arm. That is the board of directors. And the information minister being the head for the National Tourism Authority.
Let's be clear now. Let's be clear.
Yeah,
the Constitution cannot provide for activity level because the Constitution is an organic law. that lays the foundation of the existence of the state, right? The
I know that.
Constitution makes it clear that the president is the head of government.
Yes.
That's why he's also the commander-in-chief of the army. Even the army fall under the president, right? So the Constitution is one second. I don't give you a chance to talk, Dr. Mali. What you are saying is that the Constitution does not provide that this kind of activity report will go to the president. What I'm saying is that does not go into the Constitution. But the Constitution is very clear that he is the head of the executive branch of what? Government.
We don't dispute that.
Right.
The Constitution also. We gotta give time for.
It is also clear. It is also clear that the president can propose the creation of these entities to the legislature in the past. That's why they are created.
We don't dispute that. We're talking about reporting mechanism.
One second. When they are then created, there are governance structures that are set in place. The boards that are established for these institutions, they are meant to take care of technical policy issues. Beyond the board, the president supervises everyone in the executive branch of government.
No, it's not only technical issues that the board take care of. The board even go as far as administration. So you can't just limit it to that. What I'm saying,
technical policy issues.
That's what I'm saying. When it comes to administration, or when it comes to reporting or deliverables, it has to go to the board chair. So it's not all of them that report to the president. That's what I'm telling you.
No, that's why you are not.
No.
Let's make a distinction here.
What a distinction.
It is not. It is what I'm saying is it is not a day-to-day management like every day. If they sweep that report, they have to make the report to the president, right? Those ones go to the board, the operational issue. But any high-level policy issue that an institution in the executive government, in the executive branch of government is taking that affects the economy or that affects the level of governance broadly, they have to consult with the presidency.
It has to go through the board. It has to go through the board.
But it goes through the board onto the presidency. We are not saying we're not going to the board.
No. You try to create a scenario that they all report straight to the president. No, it doesn't work that way.
No, I said to you, they have boards.
You just bring it. You just factoring that other part of your.
No, I said ever since.
I'm saying it all don't report directly to the president.
No, I was the one that even told you that the tourism authority has a board and the board is chaired by the information minister.
We know that. I'm telling you, they don't report directly to the president. That's what I'm saying.
No, what I'm saying is that everyone in the
it is.
No.
That's what they have.
We gotta move on.
You can see the development movement here. And this is what the boss is having with his boss. And the boss is having all the calculations this is the best to do. All corruption go. There's no way around the Environmental Protection Agency. I can say that for fact.
Go, corruption, go away. And that takes us to our final issue tonight, the expulsion of Representative Yekeh Kolubah. This House of Representatives say they want to expel Representative Yekeh Kolubah after repeated clashes with leadership. Supporters say it was necessary for the order. Critics say it is a political overreach. Dr. Mali, for them to even talk about the expulsion of Yekeh Kolubah, what do you make of that? You think they is something right for them to do? Is it an overreach because Yekeh is they try to get rid of him because they don't agree with his politics? What do you think is going on here?
Well, I strongly believe in institutional discipline. That's the first thing. But also, if you try to promote institutional discipline and you are overlooking so many things, and at some point you decide to come to yourself, you say, oh, I have to do this now. There where I found problem. Yekeh Kolubah, his leadership style is different. You see, and his approach to things is very different. And in our African setting, too much talking, sometimes not necessary. In our African way of running government, all right? So Well, I don't know whether we'd rather have democracy in Africa in the first place. I don't know. But I'm sure we're practicing something there. Whether we're practicing the full package, I don't know.
You
But
think the full package is practiced here in the United States?
no, we're not in the United States.
Yeah.
No.
What do you think the full package of democracy is practiced?
The one that interests you is the one you practice. One of the major aspects that interests Africa, that the election to decide who get in power. Even the issue of transparency, accountability, all those things, they're not even working. And they're all part and parcel of that whole package. So the portion
So you are saying democracy is practiced nowhere?
Pardon me?
You are saying democracy is practiced nowhere? Or do you know
It's a package. People go there and take what they want and practice that.
No, you say in Liberia, you don't even know whether they're practicing democracy.
That's what I said. I don't think so.
Are they practicing it here in America?
They're practicing some that interest them.
In Liberia,
in Africa, they also practice some that interest them.
Okay.
And the election aspect is what they practice there. That's what I see there.
Okay. Yekeh Kolubah.
Yekeh Kolubah. As I said, I believe in institutional discipline. The host makes its own laws, rules, and regulations. So if for any reason Yekeh Kolubah violated any of the rules and regulations of the House of Representatives, and it's in contrary to their rules, action should be taken. And I show they are laid down criteria for which the action can be taken.
Yekeh was elected by the people. So until his term expired, do you think anyone can put him out of the legislative branch of government? Anyone in his colleagues can say, no, you're no longer lawmaker? You think they can do that?
Yeah, there where now the Constitution will come into play.
And what the Constitution says, do you know?
No, I don't know.
Right, the Constitution doesn't say that.
Okay. If the Constitution doesn't say that, then we go back to the House rules.
Can the House rule override the Constitution?
If the Constitution doesn't say that, yeah, you implement the House rule, of course.
Thank you. Dr. Male, again, yeah. So you think if the House rules say expel the man, he's no longer legislator, they can do that? And when they do that, do you think he can come back and run again? If he wins, can they stop him from taking seat?
Well, I don't know much about that. But to move him, if the whole rule says it, yeah, of course, they got to go ahead and move him. And make sure, go by all the criteria that I laid down for removing someone who have gone contrary to the rules and regulations of the House. Of course, yes.
And who else can that happen to?
It can happen to, that should happen to anybody, because nobody in the House should be above the rules and that of the Constitution of Liberia. So it should happen to anybody in the House, including the Speaker.
And not impeachment, but you can just say, go, we move you.
That was said, what the rule says.
All right.
If the rule says, for instance, no profanity should be used in a hallway. If profanity I apply in a hallway, the rule says, rule 1, 2, 3 says, we should have a section, investigate this man, and he found guilty, we expel him. You implement the rules. But here is the tricky part. Assuming the rule says that, and the Constitution says a House of Representatives cannot be removed except when he's out of power. No other law can remove him. Then that's an issue right there, because there will be a stamping right there. So which one do we consider? The Constitution to override the House rule? Then we have to allow the Constitution to override the House rule, because the House rule is not statutory rule. The Constitution is an organic law. It should be able to supersede all other law down there. So that's how I would see it.
Thank you. Tom, let me get your take.
So when we were discussing I think the issue of the warning to the ministers, Dr. Mali said the president has the a constitutional authority to appoint them. So let me go to the Constitution here. Does the Constitution provide a legal, a legal, a provision for removing or expelling members of the House? I think in the 1986 Constitution, Article 49, I think speaks to this. The last sentence, it says each House may determine the rules of its proceedings, punish its members for disorderly conduct, and with the concurrence of tutor, expel a member. So there's actually a constitutional provision for it. When he was talking about their rules, I don't know where the rules of the legislature will apply here, because it's not that something that Yekeh did in session, right? This is a statement that he made regarding the border crisis between Liberia and Guinea. And I think the statement he made was that the land that is in dispute after the Guineans crossed the boundary, the Makuna River, and came on the Liberian side and put the flag down and been there for some time now. I understand they have left. I don't know whether that is verifiable or not. But I think the statement Yekeh made was that that land actually belonged to the Guineans.
Yeah.
So his colleagues are saying that that's unpatriotic. It's almost like he has committed a treasonous offense. So my issue is that even if they have rules to be able to punish their own members, how does that apply in this case? Because it's not like he went to session and disrupted session and he did something under the gabble of the speaker. This is a statement that he has made relating to a national issue. How then do they draw him into the House and use their rules? I don't think, I'm not a lawyer, I'm not sure how practical and how applicable that can be. But if they fall back to the Constitution, there's a provision there that they can use to expel him for disorderly conduct. But does that qualify as a disorderly conduct? So I think this is a huge legal battle that they will have to go through if they want to do this. Like you said, he was elected by the people. Can his colleagues just expel him and he goes away? And then how do we then go to another elections to be able to replace him? So I think it will be a legal battle of a long haul. And I don't, since the Civil War ended, I'm not sure we have a precedence for that. Maybe in our history there is, but I don't remember in recent time when a member of the House has been expelled and we go and re-elect someone else to come and complete their tenure. I mean, the letter the president wrote to the legislature to come back, I think the last bullet point is on issues of national interest. Yekeh himself has been saying on some platform that third bullet is his issue, that it is expulsion that they've called them to take action on. But we have to see how this goes. I think it's a complex judicial process that somebody can, it will be difficult to be able to go through this kind of thing.
Is this Dr. Mali?
Yeah.
Is this necessary or it become a distraction again? Is this something, is there a need for us to even spend 50 cents on this kind of issue?
Well, frankly speaking, the answer is no. Because it's like, I think we could handle the issue another way. Because in administration, there are procedures and some criteria at time when there are some offense caused by some other people and other things. There's this warning, the verbal warning, the written warning, the suspension, and finally removal and all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So, given our fragile nature right now in Liberia,
what makes our nature fragile? I
no,
mean,
there are too much tension. No. There are too much tension in the system right now. Right?
Doesn't make it
First of all, no. You got to be concerned. I mean, the whole thing here, I think, is politics. That's what I see here. A politics in the sense that, as a government, you should always be careful to reduce disgruntled constituents. It's always good to reduce it rather than to increase it. It's not a good strategy. Okay? Yekeh Kolubah has got followers. Removing him, it could be easy. But you're not shutting him more up because he has the right to stay tall. I don't know how you want to say. But what I'm seeing here is this. if for any reason Yekeh Kolubah made that statement, which of course I read, and let's say they try to capitalize on it, you know, sometimes people have to pay the price for reckless statement too. At this time, the spirit of nationalism should be with all of us. Making that kind of statement, you know, it has so many implications. But like what Mr. Cannon already said, it's going to be a real fight. But to your question, Mr. Jai, it's a time there right now. I think we can have a counseling with this guy, try to sit down. Some people, we are all traumatized directly or indirectly in our country. Even for some of us stay abroad, we are still traumatized. So I think this should be the first time that we sit down and, you know, and counsel this guy, talk with him. I think they should have that committee in the house, talk with some people. I think we should come from that background, at least for first offense.
Thank you.
And
Let me announce.
Hold
on 1 second. Let me announce that.
1 second, 1 second. Dr.
One second, Tom.
Dr. Mali appetite, his appetite for warning is very high. The cabinet minister just warned.
If you want to be part of the conversation, please call 605-313-6004. The code is 791-403#. And if you are in Liberia and you can get to our conference line, you can call my number directly so that you can participate. I saw some people, you know, all the way in Boakai, where the deacon they go and say, "Oh, we watch your program." They are even relaying it on their local radio station. So Thomas, no, I think that his father is Thomas. Actually, Potiphar, if you want to do that, you can call the number on the screen. But Tom, is there an elephant in the room here? Because we all know Yekeh behavior. He was insulting President. We are now insulting President Boakai. And I mean, he's acrimonious. The way he approaches issue is unconventional. He uses invectives and all that. Is that the elephant in the room? And they're trying to remove him because of that and not anything else, and just trying to find an excuse.
I think that plays into it. There are also people who are saying that what is the real value of Yekeh in the house? This guy is not submitting bills, he's not doing anything. He just insult everybody. Now that his cousin Prophet Key is in jail, he's the only one left. So there's also this concern that maybe you get him out and bring somebody who can contribute much more better. But again, his value might not be in the house. His value is out there, you know. Yekeh had not stood up to President Weah. Maybe he could be president today. So not everybody you can directly get benefit from. Some people you get benefit from them indirectly. And then there's concern also that he played a major role in bringing this government to power. Why do you want to now make him to change? That's how he has been since he entered the house. So just let him be there and wait for the next election. If you can beat him, you beat him.
One comedian said that the Unity Party own Rattan beating them because they use that. So Dr. Mali, and we have a caller here. But let me get you. You know, you think so for Yekeh, you think the other members of the legislature they doing anything different?
Which other members you talking about?
Other members of the House of Representatives. I mean, are they doing anything different? You know, to bring value to that honorable body?
Well, I don't think so, because some are not speaking up like what Yekeh is doing. Maybe Yekeh's strength lies in talking, you know, and addressing things frankly. But I think there are so many things going on in our place. Yekeh have been doing the thing for a long time, and nobody has come to say, look, this guy, we need to bring him to book. So the question now is, why now? You see, but in the era of discipline, I mean, you can always discipline, but it's like there's some discipline you take it from different angle. This I already see it. You see, like for instance, this guy who was throwing behind bar, Prophet Key. I think Prophet Key he needed some counseling.
Okay.
I think
And
Prophet Key has
warning.
I think Prophet Key have counseling.
Let me bring you our colors. Let me bring you our colors. Maybe they're trying to purge our system from insult so that we can now have an insult-free society.
It's not possible.
All right, let's see. Let me bring in our first caller here. That's William Jala. William, you're live. Go ahead, sir.
Hi, Dennis. Yeah, thanks for having me.
Thank you.
So I was just calling to. Hi, Dennis. Thank you, Dennis, for having me. So I was just calling to say that there has been precedent for removing a lawmaker.
Mm-hmm.
I think Bidet from Magidi County. He was expelled from the House of Representatives, I guess, or the Senate. One of them.
Do you know why?
I'm not sure, but there was some kind of scandal.
Okay.
Some kind of scandal.
Yeah.
But there was a precedent.
Okay. Yeah, you don't listen to your device. Listen to me. Just turn it off.
Yeah. There was scandal. I think it was involving some kind of scandal.
Thank you. Yes.
Yeah. So I just thought to mention that. Be there from RGB, I guess.
Thank you. I mean, and it's in the Constitution. I think for things like you said, scandal or treason, high crime, those kind of things. Yes, they can be expelled. But let's see whether that's what they are following. Let me bring on the next caller here. Joe Malem Makture, you're live.
Muted. Everyone's taking my call, man. Yeah, but I mean, unmuted. It's pretty much difficult to analyze, but we got to make the analysis. And making the analysis is one thing, whether the government is missing. Because if the government is much responsible to listen to suggestions and act responsibly, they can continue to, make an impact. But if the government is adamant, there is a problem. You see, it becomes laughable for me, to point at Yekeh Kolubah. If the president can commit perjury and the lawmaker can't take any step towards that, why you want to hold Yekeh accountable for such a significant statement? I don't get it. Because President Boakai, he committed perjury. He lied on an oath.
About what?
The lawmaker didn't do nothing for him. So you see, let me put the lawmaker into categories.
No, first of all, you said President Boakai lied on the oath. Just cite the instance.
He lied on the oath. The project in Global County. He lied on the oath. That's a perjury. Just double check that.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, double check that. Who's trying to come in?
No, I'm saying you say he lied on the oath. Where?
I think the president. Well, listen to me. I hope you read this in the Constitution. The president said the project that in Lofa County, he doesn't know anything about it.
And what was the oath he took to say that?
He on a presidential oath.
Okay.
You have to double check it. You're on a presidential oath to say the truth. The president said he doesn't know anything about that project. In your administration, how can a project is constructed and you accept it and you visit it and you later on say it's a money river project and then you say you don't know anything about it. That that's perjury. And later on you read a money river project. So that's perjury. You lied on the oath. You know what I mean? The president took an oath.
Okay.
Now it's standing Joseph Boakai senator and the poor Joseph Boakai representative, they are the one that causing problem. They are the one that causing the problem. You see, that's a separate branch of government. You can't call or let the lawmakers for recess just to come and put into an insignificant statement like that, oh, the land belongs to Lupa, the land belongs to the GDS. Yeah? What about the president? What he said too? He said, Boakai come on heaven and divide land. You know, when you make it responsible statement, you got to go and say accountable too.
The president said, he said, God, I'm making new land. I think.
If you say, God is not making new land, I mean, what the interpretation journalistic is ambiguous. You understand me? You understand me? He said, God is not making new land. So that's why the Kenyans took advantage and came into our country. And that is the don't sugarcoat that and stuff. That is the most humiliating thing any country in the world can face. Because another country jump or another country come and put a flag up in your country, then you send police there. You don't have to engage in military, but I think if a military is pressure on the ground, you know, it will be a deterrent. You understand me? National security has been overlooking like Europe. You pay more than the security. What do you expect? So you see, I mean, I don't know where you're going. You know, Janice, you're always having problem with me when I talk about the past, the past administration, the 70 years, 60 years. No, let me tell you one thing. We destroy ourselves and we are not accomplishing anything. Liberia was better on with our trouble and someone. And today, the nation boys are destroying themselves to the extent that Liberia is irreparable. Put me on record for that. You know what I'm saying? Put me on record. Look at the institutional damage. Before I leave it, let me just make a reference to you. Why you see Kalata Marjorie Carter doing what Sophus was doing in 60 and 70? It's because of the educational system. Because they have Booker Washington, they had a Kalata work, in institution. So if you come and downplay education, and you know, the United Party has been a big nightmare for Liberia. Trust me, nightmare for Liberia. And once the people in power, Liberia will last. Trust me, I'm telling you the truth.
Thank you.
The truth.
Yeah, Joe Mallon, if even by this time, Tomo or Tomo are not still going to be alive now. So it's been like 40 years. Okay. Thank you.
No. You know, you've got to make reference to the Dennis. Okay, thank you very much for giving the opportunity to bring you
all right. I think what you could accuse the president, what you could accuse the president of was plagiarism, because that statement God is not making new land is a Mark Twain quote. Mark Twain said, "Buy land." Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
Research and get back to me. Or publicly, you know, say something about me, I will accept it. But that's plagiarism. You don't laugh off as a president. You don't do that.
Thank you.
You see what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Why is the super buying on you? Because it was 80. That's the city was Boakai losing his business. And I'm buying to you, trust me. You have the party people that want to use that public administration to accumulate the wealth that offer. That's a very person for like 21st century. Trust me.
Thank you, Joe.
All right, thank you so much, man.
All right. So, buy land, they are not making it anymore. Mark Twain. Now, what the president was quoting, but he didn't quote. So, that's a matter. What do you think of the colors? Anything you want to comment on?
I think the color statement is not strange. I think he coming from a camp, and so I'm very sure he come from the opposition camp, and so he entitled to his view.
Thank you. All right, let's wrap up in 2 minutes. So Tama will go to bed. It's late. Anyway, tomorrow's Sunday, so you will go to church. Okay, that's all the calls we have. and that's all the time we have. Let's wrap up and get your closing. Tom, you go first.
Hey, Tom, muted.
Yeah, I'm trying to get the list of topics that we discuss.
Yeah.
It's very long. Okay,
Dr. Malik.
so just to conclude, I mean, on the appointed chair of the NEC, I think, like I said, when you work as a consultant, you have to make sure that you are delivering. So, for the fact that they were hired in 2023 to provide electoral support to the Unity Party, they appear to have been working for the party, which was the case. But I'm not sure he's a member of the Unity Party. So, I think the concerns around it are genuine from the perspective of making sure that the perceptions around electoral management bodies are seen as fair. But I don't think it gets to the point where he should not be allowed to serve. On the printing of money, the central bank provides a very good economic justification, some of which, for me, like on the mutilation side, if the mutilated notes are there, have they withdrawn it? We've not really seen over the past 2, 3 years the central bank burning, because that's what normally happens. If the notes are mutilated, they are no longer useful, they can go and burn them. I don't see that happening. But again, I go back to the point I made earlier. These things supposed to be well documented in strategies, and that's where I think outside the AARD, the Ministry of Finance, the central bank, the Commerce Ministry, they need to sit together and develop economic reform strategies. LRA, they have their individual plans, but can they bring them together so that we see what are the major reforms on the monetary side, on the fiscal side, even structural reforms on trade and other issues, so that we are clear on where we are going. On the issue of the cabinet, I was very clear. The warnings are good. Those that are doing well, they praise them. But at some point, if the systems that are in place to be able to track their performance are showing weaknesses, I think people should be moved around, especially when you're moving towards your 10th year and you enter your 4th year, and then the other ones will be election. On the terrorism authority, I think they need to sit down, do deep dives, do a lot of research, do a lot of analysis. Tourism is not only internal. We have domestic tourism, but what are we going to do to be able to attract tourists that are coming from outside to visit Liberia? What are the attractive places that people want to go? That's the work that they need to do. The fee structure is the simplest thing that you can do. And I'm not sure the tourism authority should be established only to collect fees. If now we don't need them, other agencies can do the collection of the fees. But I think they need to focus on strategy, on planning, because they are a new institution. And on the Yekeh issue, that's a long haul. So I think what we can do is to just sit and watch and see where it goes.
Dr. Malik, who else we should give money to? Tom said you love money bit.
Well,
You're closing.
I don't know where we all came from, and but the problem now is the institutional discipline. We've just come from war, but in the first place, you get warlord, rebel leaders, they all in the army on taxpayer payroll. That just tells you the kind of system we even running in the first place. There's a war that came since almost up to this time. No one is persecuted. The victim and they grieve, they are grieved, they're all moving up and down. So our system is kind of a different type of system. But the issue of Yekeh, if I were one of those in the house, my suggestion would be we look at the merit and the demerit of his utterances, and we carry out due diligence to it. And finally, maybe we can give him a suspension rather than expulsion.
They've done that before.
Pardon me?
They've done that before. He was suspended, he didn't get his pay.
Okay. Then administratively, then we got to move to the next level. But that would depend on the gravity of the case too.
Yeah.
You see, yes. And the issue of the tourism, like Tom said, I hope the guy are not just focusing on the cash, when you can improve the place. As I said now, I don't even know the tourist site in Liberia and what have you. I think they really need to do some homework, you see. And the prices, for me, I strongly believe that the tourism authority is one of the income generating arm, should be one of the income generating arm of government. All right. So I don't find problem with it. What I find problem is the timing. You see, it's too soon. You have to put your act in place first, get things running, and and even the taxes or whatsoever fees should vary. People from America, they should get certain fees to pay. The people inside there, they get certain fees to pay. You know, like for instance, I think our Tom was talking about the hotel, them be paying taxes and other things. So my question now is, the hotel will be paying taxes to the government, then they'll be paying taxes to the tourism authority. I don't know. I hope they really look at all of these things, because a lot of people paying taxes to government down there. You see, so the issue of the cabinet retreat,
the repeated admonition.
yes, I think the president
Don't do it again. Don't do it again. Don't do it again.
The president will keep reminding, that's administration, he got to keep reminding his lieutenants, keep reminding them. And you know, evaluation, I don't know, but it go with schools and other things. And you can see when someone is falling short, you let them see their own evaluation, where they couldn't meet up with certain goal. And they have to take us, then you have to take a stand now. Maybe like Tom said, push people around, you know. But you notice our system is such that if I come from educational background, you go put me in
Dr. Malik, you are concluding, your time is up.
Okay.
They're closing. You're not starting a new argument because God are making new land. On that note, gentlemen, I want to thank you so much. I want to thank you so much for tonight. I want to thank our viewers.
You sure God not making new land?
No,
God not making new show.
We encourage our viewers to help us keep the lights on. You can Zelle or Cash App us on our number here, FOL Media. You can do that, and we'll be glad to take that. Again, you can help us to keep our lights on. Yesterday, we had a great show on the mining sector. For us to keep bringing those kind of programs, please support us. And if you have your friends, send it to them so that we can keep the lights on. Until then, we want to close with a song that says, we are all Liberians. Whether you believe that Yekeh should be expelled or not, we are all Liberians. Have a good night, and God bless you.
Liberian is our